Today, I would like to share with you the All About Reading pre-reading level from the All About Learning Press. I've been using this program for a few weeks now with my 4-year-old son, and we are absolutely loving it. So I wanted to share with you a few different things today. First, I wanted to show you all of the um, components that go with this level. So I'll show you inside of the teacher's manual, the activity book, the readers, things like that. And then towards the end, I will show you what a lesson would look like for one letter. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Jerilyn, and I am a homeschool mom of 3 kids, ages 10, 4, and 1. I've been homeschooling for 6 years, and I started back when my oldest daughter, who is currently in 5th grade, was starting kindergarten in 2019. I have used the All About Reading levels 1 through 4 with my oldest daughter. When we started homeschooling, she had already gone to preschool because I used to work as a kindergarten teacher. And so I knew that when I started kindergarten, I wanted a really solid reading program. That is when I found the All About Learning Press and started using All About Reading with her. We did all 4 levels in kindergarten and 1st grade. Then, a couple years into homeschooling, we decided to have some more children. And so, a friend of mine had actually given me most of this pre reading program from All About Reading. And there were just a couple of things that she didn't have and had given me that I needed to order from their website. So, I just wanted to share a little bit with you about all of the components that go in this program so that you can get an idea if it's something that you might be interested in for your homeschool. So, as a former kindergarten teacher, what I was looking for in a pre reading program was a focus on letters and sounds and also reading good books. Now, this program really does a good job at promoting reading to your child for at least 20 minutes every single day. It doesn't come with books to read with your child, but it really promotes that love of books and learning to read and things like that. So I really appreciate that. I really like the focus on the big 5 skills, they call it. And I will just show you in here in the instructor's manual. It talks about the big 5 skills as print awareness, phonological awareness, letter knowledge, listening comprehension, and motivation to read. So print awareness is one of the most basic of these skills, and it's just understanding that text carries some sort of meaning and that um, when you're looking at words in a book or on a page, they're telling the story. You're not just making it up as you go, and the words are the same every time you read the book. Phonological awareness is hearing and identifying different parts of words. So if you have the word cat, for instance, separating that word or segmenting it into 3 sounds, k, a, t, or being able to hear those 3 sounds individually and putting them together to make a new word like cat. There are things that they would focus on, like beginning sounds, middle sounds, ending sounds, blends, things like that. This doesn't get into blends, obviously, because you're just talking about each letter individually. But then there's also letter knowledge, recognizing letters and knowing their sounds and their names. Listening comprehension. So this goes with being able to talk about what's in the readers, but then also when you're doing your read alouds alongside of this program, being able to answer the questions about who are the characters and what are they doing and where did the story take place and things like that. And then also a motivation to read. So just really getting your child interested in books and learning how to read so that they have that motivation to want to read more. So I really like this program and we are really enjoying using it. So let's go ahead and talk about the components of the All About Reading pre-reading level. So there is a teacher's manual, an activity book called My Book of Letters. I'll show you inside of that in a little bit. There are also some pre-reading cards. So they have little dividers like this that divide the cards. And these are just little rhyming cards mostly. So you would just play different games in this program and it tells you exactly when to do that and what to do. So I really like that it is open and go like that. So these are the cards. Now I don't have the actual card organizer box. That is one thing from the program that I don't have. So I just keep it in a little spot behind me where I can keep my cards organized. So that's the cards. It also has two readers, the Zigzag Zebra, which is a rhyming alphabet, and then Lizard Lou, a collection of rhymes old and new. It also has two letter posters. So one of them is actually hanging right here behind me. This is the capital letters, and I have that one up because the first 26 lessons are just about the capital letters, and then it goes into the next 26 lessons being the lowercase letters. So you can see how big this poster is. It's probably 2 feet by 3 feet or so, maybe a little bit smaller than that. But these are really nice posters. And one thing that my friend did not have when she gave me the program was the Ziggy puppet. And so I went ahead and ordered this off of the All About Learning website. And he is just so cute. He has his little mouth and he comes in really handy when it comes to rhyming and learning the letters and sounds. And my son thinks that he is just absolutely hilarious. And so I am really glad that I spent the $20 to fill in this program with Ziggy. So highly recommend getting Ziggy. The other thing that I did purchase off of their website was the My Book of Letters because my friend had already used it with her son. So this was very affordable. I think it was $20.50 or something like that. But the thing that I really like about it that I will show you here in a few minutes is that each of the pages has the directions on the back of it. So it's very easy to implement in your homeschool. Another component that I don't have to show you is the tote bag that you can put everything inside of to carry it from place to place if you need to. I just use these organizer bins here on my shelf to keep track of my two different students. And so I don't really need the tote bag, but it's one of the things that you would get if you bought the full curriculum. I am an affiliate with the All About Learning Press, so I have an affiliate link down below in the description box that you can use to go check out their website, see what you might be able to use in your homeschool, whether it's the pre-reading level or All About Reading levels 1 through 4, or even the All About Spelling program. Now, if you didn't know this, they actually just are coming out with an All About Math program, and the level 1 releases here pretty soon. So that is a pretty exciting new product that they are going to have, and maybe I will even get to use it in the next couple of years with my son who's coming up into the school age. So let's go ahead and look inside of the teacher's manual. At the very beginning, it will show you the whole list of lessons. And so as you can see here, it starts with all the capital letters A through Z. Then you go into the lowercase letters A through Z. And then the third time through, you are teaching the sounds of A through Z. Now, one to note is letter C here. You are learning the sound k like cat, not s like circle yet. That is introduced in level 1 of All About Reading. So just note that. You could teach it if you want to, but they just don't have it outlined like that yet. Here are the things that you need. This is a very easy program to implement. They don't really ask much except for some crayons, markers, scissors, glue, things like that. So then you can preview the letter sounds with their app. That's a free app that you can listen to the letter sounds just in case you aren't sure. These are the big 5 skills that I was talking about earlier: print awareness, phonological awareness, letter knowledge, comprehension, and motivation to read. And then it starts right into the lessons. So one of the things that I really like about the way that they lay out their lessons is that it tells you right here at the top what you will need for the day. So all I need is my book of letters, page 5 for capital A. We've already used that, so I can't show that one to you, but I will show you letter C here in a few minutes. There are always little tips on the sides, and it tells you what you're going to need. So first you start out by singing the alphabet song. Today's letter is A, and then you find the A on the chart. Then you would read the poem for letter A on pages 7 through 10. So I will show you that. We start with the Zigzag Zebra book in the capital letters. So A starts here. These are in black and white, but they're beautiful illustrations. Okay, so you would read pages 7 through 10. So here, these 3 pages, and that's it for letter A. Then it says here, see if your child can locate the capital A in the text on page 10. So here, there's a capital letter A, so you would have them find that. Then it says, have your child do the ABC craft sheet for capital letter A. That was a very, very minimal activity. You were supposed to color the alligator one shade of green and the capital letter A another shade of green. So we did that. I don't have the paper anymore. I couldn't find it. And then you can go to page 195 and look for more activities on how to practice letters with your child. So they suggest things like handwriting, forming the letter with pipe cleaners or toothpicks. You could do magnet letters, shape modeling clay or Play-Doh. You could go on a letter hunt, use stamps, use your finger to trace the letter in something like finger paints, pudding, shaving cream, salt, things like that. We haven't done a lot of these yet. I'm not sure my son's really ready for any kind of handwriting, but anyway, those activity suggestions are there. Then the last thing is to play a game. So in this particular lesson, they are doing a rhyming activity with Ziggy. So Ziggy would point to the child's shoulder and say, this is your holder. And then your child says, no, it's my shoulder. And my son just thought that was the best thing ever. He thought Ziggy was hilarious that he couldn't name things correctly. So this is just to introduce a little bit of rhyming. And then over here, it encourages you to read a story or a poem to your child for 20 minutes. Now, let's go ahead and look inside of the My Book of Letters activity book next. We have already used the letter A and B. So C is the first one here that you're going to see. But what I really like about it is that the directions are right here on the back. It tells you what you will need and gives you some directions on what to do. Now, if you didn't want to use it just like this, you can do whatever you want. It's your piece of paper. But I really like that it gives you ideas of how you could make this into a fun activity. Each of the letters has a page. And if you go back here to the back of the book, where it starts talking about lowercase and sounds, there are sometimes different activities. So let's see if I can find one easily here. Maybe it doesn't start until... Okay, so like this one here has a little dot to dot where you can do all the letters A through T. And then here it has an activity where you would find the different types of T's. So there's T with a tail, no tail. This is more of a Danielian font. So they just have different activities to do than just color a letter, paint a letter, that kind of thing. So I noticed that was happening a little bit more in the lowercase section and especially here in the sound section. So the sound section, this instructs you to cut these out. So it says cut apart the 4 drawings on the bottom of the page. Look at the drawings, say the name of each item, which start with the sound of ah. In the boxes, paste the 3 items that start with A. So you have alligator, sock, astronaut, and ant. And you would cut these apart and paste them onto this section only if they start with A. It doesn't really say what to do with the leftover one. You could maybe put it up here or just recycle it, your choice. But these are fun little beginning sound worksheets. So there's, oh, and here's a color by letter. That looks fun. I'll just quickly flip through so you can see some of the different pages. And that is the end. So last, let's go ahead and look in the 2 readers. This is the rhyming alphabet book. So each letter has a little rhyme that's a few pages long. They are really cute and sweet pictures. The elephant is so cute. So this is just what the capital letters rhymes would be. Then when you get to the lowercase letters, you come to this book. So here's the lowercase a, and there are some poems to read. Then B, and some more poems. So this is kind of a neat little idea to have a poetry book. So that is what this book consists of, all the way through letter Z. Right here. I hope that it was helpful for you to see inside some of these materials. Now I would like to show you a little bit about what one day's lessons would look like. So we're going to pretend that we're doing capital C today. So the first thing that you would do is sing the alphabet song and point along with the alphabet chart that you have hung up somewhere. You can either leave it up like I do, or you can fold it up and keep it somewhere so that you don't have to have it out all the time. I really like to use Ziggy as the pointer to the letters. That just makes it a little bit more fun for the kids. And then at the end of the alphabet song, you would say today's letter is letter C, and you would show them where that was and have them come point to it. You might even have them trace it with their finger. Then you would read the poem for letter C. So you would come to this book here. So there's letter C, and you would read, calico cats crunch cookies and candy. They also sneak cereal with cream. Getting caught is like a bad dream. Then once you're done reading the poem, it says, see if your child can locate the capital C in the text on page 16. So you go back to page 16, and right here at the beginning of the line, it says calico cats crunch cookies and candy, and so they would find the capital C on that page. Then it says to have your child do the craft sheet for capital C. So you would get the letter C page. I like to tear them out. You could keep them in the book if you wanted, but it would be hard on days when you do some painting or things like that. But you would have them do the activity here, which it says to paint or finger paint the letter C with light brown paint, and then make chocolate chips by cutting out small pieces from the brown construction paper and glue the pieces on the letter C. So you could either do that, or you could have them paint with a darker color or use marker or something like that if you're just using markers and crayons. Then you can go to page 195 in the back and find some more ways that you can practice that letter, maybe with Play-Doh or something like that. Then you would play Get Out of the Wagon. So here in the card deck for lesson 3, there are these different little rhyming cards. So there's hat, king, ring, pen, men, tree, bat, jail, mouse, house, bee, and snail. And so this requires the little wagon page, and you keep this for a few different lessons, but this is kind of fun. This is a game called Get Out of the Wagon. So you would choose 3 rhyming cards. 2 of them would rhyme and 1 of them wouldn't. So let's say I used hat, I put it in the wagon, bat, and jail. And then what you would have your student do is you would say each of the pictures, and the one that does not rhyme, you have to get out of the wagon. So bat, hat, jail. Which one doesn't rhyme? Jail. And then you get out of the wagon. And my son thought that was really hilarious when we did this activity. But that is an activity that repeats a few different times throughout the lessons. So you would keep this little wagon page. This comes in the activity manual. So that would be the little game that you would play. And then the last thing to do would be to read a story or poem. And that's obviously your choice if you want to do some sort of picture book read aloud, something like that. And then it gives you a suggestion for when you're reading aloud. So today when you're reading aloud, let your child hold the book as you read. Observe if your child understands how to hold the book right side up as opposed to upside down, and if the child knows to turn the pages in the correct direction. So these are just some things to practice for print awareness and motivation to read and things like that. So that is what one lesson would look like. It doesn't take very long. I think the longest part is the activity page for sure. I actually really like to do this over 2 days. The first day I introduce the letter. I do everything except for the activity page. Then the next day I do the activity page, and I might review a couple of the things like the poem or doing the alphabet song and finding the letter on the chart. So that's just how I do it, but you can do it however you want that fits best with your child. And if you need more than 1 or 2 days on a letter, you might do a letter a week or something like that. But I hope that you will subscribe here at our homeschool table and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I am going to be making some more preschool related videos here in the coming weeks and months as I continue to teach my 4-year-old letters and sounds, and we do lots of great books. I will be having some videos coming out about the Before 5 in a Row program that we're using. We just started, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So look forward to those videos, along with all of my update videos that I generally do monthly. I will have an update video coming out at the beginning of May for how our March and April went. And then next year, I'm planning to do more of a quarterly, or every 3 months or so, I will do an update video, and I'm going to split them between my 6th grade daughter and my preschool son because there's a lot to share, and I don't like to make videos that are super, super long. So I hope that you will stick around here so that you don't miss a thing. If you have any questions about the All About Reading pre-reading level, I would love to help answer those for you. Also, don't forget to check out the description box below for my affiliate link to the All About Learning Press website. And I hope that you will consider this program for your homeschool. It is very thorough. It is very fun and enjoyable, and doesn't take too long to implement each day. So I really like this program for all of those reasons. Well, I think that's all I have to say today. So if you have anything else to let me know, go ahead and leave that down below in the comment box. And otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out with me today at our homeschool table, and we'll see you next time.